Oh, that's the twist ending. I love it. The Schleiman twist ending. What a twist. Yeah, because who else would have done it? She knew who did it. Well, court visitor. That explains everything. That's like, oh, okay. Yeah, hysterectomy is when you remove the uterus. So that's why she literally can't have any more kids, because she doesn't have a uterus. It's gone. And anyway, Prima shows up and makes his spiel. Yeah. Okay, for Prima to show up, probably over there. I'm going to cast some light over there. I don't want to move the Disney Sticks glowy parts. Oh, there. I want to set this up a little. And then a shot of some of the Autobots, just almost stationary. It's moving a little bit. There's a little movement. But shot from inside the ship, there's 2 Autobots. Actually, let's turn that off. Because that was not flashing when they were in the ship. They're just in the background. Around the mothership. These 2 guys. So that's pretty much the reshoot there of that scene. Just because they don't do anything, there's no dialogue, but you needed a shot of apparently Transformers doing something, attacking something, even if there's no dialogue. Otherwise, he says he commands nobody to do anything. Yeah. So there you go. Sure. What's kind of unclear a little bit. This wraps up the 2016 timeline with the other Rick Hunter. Basically, this timeline, there's other timelines, there's a multiverse going on. But because the Regis shot the Rick Hunter from the multiverse, she prevented the other multiverse from happening. And Rick Hunter goes into limbo to meet the limbo world that's from the other thing, to meet the cities fighting, and that's next. The Autobots are in there, and there's some of the Decepticons are in there, and Hadon and everybody. And the cities are fighting. We kind of already did that in Space Bridge, though, so I don't really want to just do it again, because kind of already did it. And then Bioship also did it, so we don't want to really do the same thing again, do we? Yeah, so the so yeah, this ends this scene with the other hunters. It sort of ends like a Rain Johnson movie. It has a red background in the end and everything. It's a Rain Johnson spoof. It's a Looper Star Wars spoof going on. I didn't realize that at the time, but as I shot it, I was all like, yeah, oh, okay, we're sort of spoofing the fight scene in The Last Jedi. Yeah, there's a lot of elements of that. I mean, we have a Harrison Ford and a Adam Jones as well. Yeah, so Annie and Roy aren't trapped in time because the other hunter got blasted, so that made everyone else, disappear. Because if the hunter that goes on the mission was killed in 2016, then his later self basically could end the story right here. That's a fucked up ending. I'm not going to end it right there. He goes to the land from the beginning of the story, to the darkness and the light land, and then they have a battle, cosmic battle with the Sound Force shows up. So that's what's next. Because you have to have a cosmic battle. I think the Regis is done too. I think her story arc is done. I think it's mostly the Regent and the other guy. So there you go. 17th. Okay, 17th. Pickup scene. Robotech set. 17th of September. It's just a little pickup scene. It's a scene involving the guys on the station here. And there's no making of except for this little bit. And there's the purr beast about to push it over. Nar. We had a scene in the movie where it's crucial where they say a song's gonna save us. And we cut to Rick Hunter, and he is. They both say a song's going to say us in the same shot, and it didn't work because they went blurry immediately. So all this is a tight close-up of Rick and Rick at the same time saying, "You think a song's going to save us?" And I'm not even going to reverb it. Okay, yeah, so we got nickels on the ground here. Okay, that worked. So we're going to go on to other footage of this. I want to throw in a something else here. Okay, what this is going to be is the part after Reinhard said, "Oh, little Janus robot thing." There's a scene that should be in the story that isn't. Well, there's almost no dialogue here. It's just to clarify, okay, this is what they're talking about. And to clarify that it's sort of ethereal and dreamlike and it's in the alternate timeline thing. There's like, we have like a Rick back here. Well, maybe I won't do that. I'll have Edwards back here because he's in the shadows. And I'll have Reinhard. Like their memory is showing this weird sort of, here's really what happened. Yeah. Like they're watching a memory or a dream. Kind of, yeah. So, cool. So he's sort of memorized, this is in the Tesseract. And this is a scene where he is visualizing for Rick Hunter, who is standing over here, in the dream, that this is happening. So Rick is over here. I don't want to put him in the shot because it visually screws it up a little bit. So I don't want him in the shot there. I want him over here. See the hand reaching out and stuff. It's creepy looking. Okay. And this is improvised line, but important to the script. Because otherwise it conveys that there's no ambiguity in this whatsoever. What this is them watching the battle, because that is in the script, and reacting to it. Oh, they're kicking each other's ass out there, and whatever. But I think the Autobots mention that, and that's in their dialogue, but then the Robotech people are just not mentioned again. I thought that there should be a little bit of a tagline to tie into End of the Circle. A little bit of that, and then in the End of the Circle, it was the three Invid princesses and the girl, and here in the queen, and here it's the three dudes. It's being misogynistic. No, three dudes and the robot. Because yeah, she wasn't in the movie at all, but now she. Actually, no, the robot's not in it. This isn't supposed to be like male-female empowerment or anything. It's just that they're watching the fight going on. And yeah, so this is just them watching the fight. Yeah, because they watched it. Well, they wouldn't comment on them finishing each other off. Well, maybe no, I'm not going to do that. They're not there when they finish them off. Yeah, they disappear. We will see, Max. We will see. They disappear before the robots finish each other off. And that is what I'm going to do right here. Now, the robots have finished each other off. So, yeah, this is some pickup scenes from the 17th. All this is these are little tidbits during the battle and the mysterious realm and all that, and yeah, that one scene there. These are meant just to clarify what's going on, so it doesn't seem so heavily like weird, like somewhat of a Terrence Malick movie or something, but seems more like a Cow Cat thing where they do reveal things in the story and conclude things absolutely. It ties up every string in the trilogy that way. There might be a few little ones left, but yeah, everybody does what they're gonna do, gets back home, everything's cool. So yeah, this also conveys that they are the next generation of, or the first generation of the Robotech people, which is right out of the Jack McKinney books. and the comic books and some of the other ones. And yeah, they would be the Robotech masters at that point. They would have the robotechnology, and that's why the Invid were confused about the Children of the Shadow. I also like the idea that since it's the American version that put the Children of Shadow in there, it's not the Japanese one. The Japanese one, they just said the expeditionary force is attacking, you have to go out and stop them, and somehow the Regis convinces them to go out and stop the expeditionary force as though they're evil. And they go out and do it. So essentially they become traitors at the end. And then they're kind of feeling sorry about it because they were kind of traitors at the end. But it was revealed, the expeditionary force guy, Edwards, Reinhard in this case, in the story, in the Japanese one, he wanted to blow up the Earth. He wanted to destroy it. So that's why they turned on the expeditionary force, because he literally announced to the fleet, I'm going to destroy the Earth. She ends up saving the Earth because she wants to restore balance to the it's very Zen, very Buddhist kind of thing. So her cause as a tyrant queen in the Japanese version is not as straightforward and literal as the American one. Oh, it must be some other force, the Children of the Shadow, the protoculture, the Flowers of Life and all that. They added all that. The Flowers of Life were just like this space opium in the Japanese version. And they weren't really, they weren't there to harvest and create the flowers and for fuel. They had come to the Earth of that story in the original print just to harvest the flowers and then leave after they did some mysterious mumbo jumbo to the Earth. They invaded it, but they invaded it to clean it up, which is an early kind of idea. It's like an invasion where the bad guys kill most of everybody, but then their weird motivation, which is weird, is, we just want to change the environment and help everybody. Even though we just, we want to evolve into humanoids so that we can help everybody. It's a weird idea, the Japanese version. And the American one, they just said, she's evil, but the expeditionary force is more evil. They threw in the line about Rick Hunter not returning, and they got to go look for him. That's not in the Japanese one. He's never mentioned in that version of the Inbit invasion or New Generation. Space Climber Matsupierre is not in there. And the Japanese version is just the third series by Karubara. It has nothing to do with the other two. So, Southern Cross didn't either. It was on Mars, which they said was Tyrol. It should have been Tyrol in that story, which is where they got Robotech 2 The Sentinels from, a little bit. So all that extra Robotech stuff decided to go into right now. So basically this version of the story kind of kicks back to the Japanese one a little bit and says, actually, she's evil, and a version of her is evil, but her motivations as a tyrant is like, she thinks she's just, and they're evil. She wants to cleanse everything and make it better. Whereas the bad guy wanted to scorch the Earth and destroy it, which is sort of this yin and yang thing going on, which is kind of cool. I got that, more Christian though, so I threw in some Christian elements. I threw out most of the Buddhist elements, left the Christian ones. So they go in the thing and they stop. So this Tesseract scene actually establishes again, for anyone watching this, tiny plastic figures interacting here, that the ending scenes in there, the 10 minutes that they're in the Tesseract, isn't on space or in space. It's above it and in it. And it's this really big structure that I shot in the, already shot it in the previous story, the Return of the Shadows. I shot all that footage and was intending to use it in the second half. And you're going to see it here. They're going to use it. We're going to use it. The Children of the Shadow in the story are, because it is sort of a throwaway line in the American version, they weren't supposed to be anybody. The Haydenite rebels and stuff from the Tommy Yoon, Robotech, Shadow Rising, and all that. And this wasn't real. That wasn't what they were doing originally. They weren't supposed to be people. So I established that, hey, the Invid and the Robotech Masters, the Invid and the Robotech Masters just made this phrase up as the evil other that's trying to stop them. So the children of the shadow. The evil other that's trying to stop them. When in fact, that other group that's trying to stop them might be the good guys. So they go in the fortress thing, and we find out that Janice, the robot, was programmed to lie, so that Hunter is right, but also the other guy's right, but their perspectives are different. Reinhard saw the robot, plans to kill him and everything, but Hunter knew that Korg showed up, and he is the one that programmed the robot, and then we see a vision of that. So they both get to see that vision, and they see something different. Both of them see something different. And yeah, and then I had to establish a little bit of throwback to Max there, because Max had to rescue them in some way. So Max is in the Tesseract, and he rescues them, and they become the triumvirate, tying back to the first story where they were in the thing on the bridge. And that is definitely a nod to the Jack McKinney books, where it's Dana and then Angelo Dante and Minmay, and they are the triumvirate in the end, which is stupid. So in this version, they're not the triumvirate. It's actually other people can be the triumvirate. Anybody can be the triumvirate, which is cool. They're not chosen ones. They're just the triumvirate. Whatever they're for that particular scene, they're chosen for that. Yeah, so they become the yin and yang in the story. They get out. That's the closing of this whole thing. I hope you enjoy The Children of the Shadow. and yeah, if you see all the making footage first, it'll give it away. But watch it anyway, because probably don't want to watch the making of footage because you'll get it away. But yeah, that Children of the Shadow Children, and so the esoteric throwback line, and I also threw back to the Japanese one because I had one of them in the other timeline say, well, Rick Hunter never returned because we changed the timeline to make it so they never returned. So that's in there too. And the reason that Korg sounds like Edwards is because he sort of is Edwards reincarnated as Korg, which is an interesting twist. So that means that, like, later on when Hadon was also resurrected as Hadon somebody, and when he said, I didn't resurrect willingly, I need your help, and he's with Megatron in the other universe, that may seem a little confusing, but that timeline was just erased as of because that doesn't mean that future didn't happen somewhere, though. In quantum mechanics and quantum physics says that every possible outcome is an outcome. Ever turn left or turn right or whatever. So it's not a dream, it's not a vision, it's sort of an echo or a memory of different timelines. And that's where you get people that think they're psychic and they're not really. It's just that they have a sense of deja vu about things, and things happen differently, and they kind of think things out, like almost a wisdom thing. When they think things out before they do it, so that two different paths or possibilities happen. That's not predestination paradox. Seems like it. That's just common sense and stuff like that, which to younger people doesn't exist. But when you get older, they kind of have. It would just when you're and then they're surprised and they see all these fake psychic. She really told the future. It's like, no, she didn't. She guessed based on the outcomes of entropy and educated guess, logic, paradox. She figured that out. Guessed. It's entirely a guess. Nobody foretells the future. What they're doing is they're just guessing what the next outcome might be in a given situation. Until people are able to play stock markets or stuff like that. They guess the outcome of the thing, or gambling. So that's how they do that. So it's a guess. It's a hot and cold reading and guests. And in this universe of Robotech here, I have once again given you some mind-blowing stuff to consider. Most of which is an alternate timeline. And if you don't like that version, fine. See, Tommy Yoon did it wrong. He decided that he would just mess with this one little snippet that came out there and did sort of a remake of the Invid Invasion's final 4 episodes from the vantage point of the fleet that was bad. Like, why? I mean, it was okay, but it could have been so much better if you just done something new and from the get-go said, all right, we have this throwaway gag about Rick Hunter returning. Let's just do that. Let's do McKinney's book. Why not? How hard can it be to do this thing? I mean, it's a long one. And, yep, here it is. Robotech Master signing off. Dun, 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 dun.